Coming up on NEC-TV, NEC students have the unique opportunity to talk to college students living and learning during the war in Ukraine. And here's why New Hampshire's Governor Kelly Ayotte is coming to NEC to recognize the school's connection to veterans. Plus, Pilgrim football picks up their first win in more than 50 years. Hear from NEC-TV's Leah Bowling about how it happened. All that and more just ahead on NEC-TV. Good afternoon, and thank you for watching NEC-TV. I'm Sub Sabitsky. Today is October 30th, 2025. Now to our top story. NEC students had the unique opportunity to speak with Ukrainian college students to learn about how they are going to school and surviving the war with Russia. NEC-TV's Bodie Robinson reports.
Going to college can be a very challenging time, but imagine going through the college experience in a war zone. That's what more than 30 students from Sumy State in Ukraine are doing. Part of their learning is taking English as a second language online with NEC professor Nicole Decoto.
Most of the students that were unable to make it today didn't have electricity. There are frequent times of the electricity being taken out by drone attacks and other Russian attacks and things like that, but they often don't have connectivity.
Decoto says she's been teaching these Ukrainian students for a little over a month now, with the goal in mind to bring interpersonal learning and cross-cultural communication. Today, the Ukrainian students spoke with several NEC Intro to Communication students.
Wonderful opportunity, especially for an Intro to Communications class. We are currently learning things like nonverbal communication. We are learning about propaganda, and by speaking to students in Ukraine where propaganda is very relevant to them in their daily lives, we were able to learn about what that is in real life. Typically, the examples we use in our class are from World War II and things that we were not alive for, whereas these students are unfortunately living through it every day.
This class will last through the end of the semester, and Professor Decoto says she hopes to continue this program with Ukrainian students in the future. For NEC-TV, I'm Bodie Robinson.
We are now 1 month into the country's second longest federal government shutdown. The Associated Press reports funding runs out tomorrow for 42 million Americans that receive SNAP benefits to help buy groceries. And 1.3 million on-duty service members may not be paid tomorrow. Here on campus, NEC is providing tuition assistance for active duty military students impacted by the shutdown. President Wayne Lesbrance says 56 out of 60 students are taking advantage of the offer for the second fall term. NEC will be officially recognized as a Purple Heart College next month. NEC is joining a national network of institutions that honor the courage and sacrifice of service members who have been killed or impacted in combat. A ceremony featuring remarks from New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte is set for Monday, November 10th at 2:30 p.m. in the Simon Gray Room. It will honor all Purple Heart recipients in the NEC community. If you know of anyone who has received a Purple Heart, email marketing@nec.edu. A U.S. Senate candidate answered questions during last night's Pizza and Politics event in the pub. I had a chance to speak with the state representative, Jared Sullivan, about why he thinks he would be the best person to represent New Hampshire in the U.S. Senate. Democratic State Representative Jared Sullivan shared pizza and drinks with NEC students last night. Sullivan says he was inspired to run for state office after watching the January 6th insurrection. Now he says he wants to be in D.C. because not enough politicians are standing up during the current immigration efforts.
I was really frustrated that so many Democrats, high-profile Democrats, were silent.
Sullivan says the political environment is toxic and that the most important issue is protecting rights.
Our Constitution is being tested every day. And without our Constitution, whatever the issue is that you might care about, whether it's affordability of housing or health care or the rights of marginalized communities, none of that's going to matter if we lose our Constitution.
Addison Dillon is a politics major who shared many of Representative Sullivan's beliefs.
I definitely agreed what he had to say. It's nice to get a perspective from someone who has a background in economics.
Sullivan wants to see affordable housing and healthcare solutions, and supports finding alternative energy solutions. He encourages young people to get involved.
If you're ever on the fence of participating in politics, now's the time to step up and wake up.
The next Pizza and Politics event will be Wednesday, November 5th in the Torrington Arms West Pub from 6 to 7 p.m. Republican Scott Brown, a former senator and ambassador to New Zealand, will be speaking and taking questions from the audience. A strong turnout, coming up after the break, a strong turnout for a dinner encouraging students to learn how to participate in civil discourse. Plus, results are in from the Be in the Match event here. How many students registered to donate life-saving cells? We'll be right back. NEC Student Government Association and Center for Civic Engagement hosted a civil discourse dinner last Thursday. Organizers and attendees say face-to-face conversations is critical in the current tense political environment. NEC-TV's Jack Cody has the story.
NEC's first civil discourse dinner sold out Tuesday, bringing 50 people from campus, the Henniker community, and the New Hampshire State House together to break bread and talk about the political landscape. Nathan Schrader, politics professor, says it's crucial to remember how to talk to one another.
The problems we're facing in terms of our political discourse, the lack of sort of civility and respect in our political conversation, it wasn't created by anybody that was in this room tonight. But the only way we're going to actually fix it or come close to fixing it is through the work of the people in this room tonight.
The random seating assignments encouraged conversation between student, faculty, and New Hampshire state representatives, like Eileen Kelly, a member of the House representing Henniker, Bradford, and Warner.
It was a very important event here tonight because it does break down some of the barriers. We do need to listen to each other, get different perspectives, and I think it's wonderful that the students the motivator behind this event, and it's been really great.
Representative Tony Kaplan agrees it's important to reach across the aisle.
I think it's really important for people to come together, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whether you're young or old. I think we need to talk to each other face to face and listen to each other and learn from each other. And if we can't do that, where's our country going to go, right? Social media is not enough. We got to come together and listen to each other face to face.
NEC's Center for Civic Engagement regularly brings politicians and speakers to campus. More information can be found on the NEC website. For NEC-TV, I'm Jack Cody.
The National Marrow Donor Program Registry event on campus last week collected 77 swabs. NMDP, formerly known as Be the Match, aims to connect donors to patients needing life-saving cell therapy. The organization says young people are typically the best match for these life-saving donations, which is why the event comes to campus each year. If you missed the event but still want to join the registry, visit my.nmdp.org. The deadline to apply to become an on-campus resident advisor is tomorrow. Perks include a single room with a full-sized bed, a 240 meal block plan, and the chance to build experience as a leader in the NEC community. The link to apply is found in your NEC email. A quick update from a story we shared last week. Henniker police say Twinkle, the missing bird, is home. Henniker PD thanked everyone who helped in the search and said it takes a village. Twinkle became a celebrity in Henniker overnight last Wednesday after she went missing. Henniker police often post about missing pets, but Twinkle and her pink feathers gained attention statewide.
Here we go, gang!
Coming up on NEC-TV, attracting national news networks, Pilgrim football picked up their first win as a varsity program, and Halloween is right around the corner. We'll tell you about events coming to campus this weekend. We'll be right back. In a close matchup, Pilgrims football took home its first win in 50 years this Sunday. NEC-TV's Leah Bowling tells us why this game is getting national news coverage.
Two of the lowest-ranked Division III football teams in the nation faced off in Henniker Sunday. The Pilgrims hosted Maine Maritime, both entering the game 0-6 and looking for the first win of the season.
Offense, let's roll! Move the ball, take control, offense!
The game started strong with the Grims scoring the first touchdown, but Maine Maritime came back with a field goal, a recovered fumble, and a touchdown, putting the Mariners in the lead for most of the game.
I would say it's been pretty solid today compared to the previous games. I feel like the defense could definitely hold up a little bit more, but they are holding, clearly they've held them twice already from scoring. So.
Even though they were behind, Grims fans didn't lose faith.
There's always hope. They're down now, but who knows? We'll see.
The game, dubbed by many online as the Toilet Bowl, was covered nationally by CBS Sports, but in the end, only one team would change their fate. In the last 3 minutes, running back Aiden McDonald scored a touchdown, locking down a 14-10 Pilgrim victory. NEC football's first win since the program returned. Middle linebacker Ethan Sinesco says it's a relief.
That felt good after not winning a game. And last year, obviously, we were a JV schedule, so we didn't have any real varsity games. So the excitement that came to my body was really a good moment to enjoy.
NEC had a packed week of sports. NEC-TV's Jack Lombardo has our weekly sports recap.
The Pilgrims of the Week were awarded to Aishan Taylor of the football team and Christina Cardello of the women's volleyball team. The men's soccer team suffered 2 losses on the week, one to Riviere and another to St. Joseph's College of Maine. The women's volleyball team went 1-3 on the week. They suffered a loss to Framingham State on Tuesday. On Saturday, they played Colby Sawyer College and Mitchell College in a tri-match. They picked up 1 win out of those 2 games. The field hockey team played 2 games this week as well. They had 2 tough losses on the road at the University of Southern Maine and another at home against St. Joseph's College of Maine. The women's soccer team also struggled this week, losing the 2 games they played. They lost on the road at Norwich University, and they suffered a loss at home versus Alberta's Magnus College. For NEC-TV, I'm Jack Lombardo.
Halloween is tomorrow, but you've likely seen that spooky decor has taken over Simon and events are in full swing. Tonight, there's a Tavern of Terror costume party at the pub featuring dollar drafts and DJ Dan Fallon. The event starts at 8. Tomorrow night, there will be a haunted trail walk from 7 to 9 p.m. Groups will leave from the Don Melander Field. The event is hosted by the Theater and Criminal Justice Clubs. Speaking of Halloween, as you get ready to spend time outside, let's head to Parker Doobie, where he'll tell you how to prepare.
Thanks, Sue. We're going to see a lot of rain tonight. It's going to stay at about an inch of rain. So it's going to be a wet trick-or-treating day, as rain will continue into Friday morning, but the sun will come out a little later in the day. We'll kind of get to the temperatures here in just a moment. Over the weekend, going to be a lot of clouds, mostly sunny on Saturday, with some clouds hanging around, and partly cloudy on Sunday. At the start of the week, next week, we're going to see a mostly cloudy, and clouds will continue to hang around on Tuesday. Before Wednesday, we see a mainly sunny day, so we'll get some sun kind of in the middle of the week. Tonight, temperature is going to hang around that 50-degree mark, and we'll dip a little lower tomorrow night as we are into the 40s. So make sure to dress warm as you head out and trick-or-treat on the town. Over the weekend, the highs will stay just about inside the 50s. Lows will head down into the 30s. Monday will be hot, as we may see a 60-degree day, so maybe one more day for some New England shorts weather before it drops back down to 40s at night. On Tuesday, we're going to see high to mid-50s and a low into the 30s, and with the same on Wednesday. So, going to be kind of a hot week to start next week for the time, but it will get very cold at night. So just make sure you dress nice and warm as we head into trick-or-treating season. And we'll head back to you, Sub, at the desk.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at NEC.TV for the latest NEC news. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week for all things NEC from the only Henniker on Earth.